Clay mentioned he had some tightness in his back last night. Just wondering how much he was able to do today.
He did the walkthrough and did some stuff on the floor in the film room, and then he got his treatment. So we'll see how he feels tomorrow.
Yeah. And then I know you were a part of the Mavericks team, won the championship, but it was constructed a little bit differently back then. I guess in today's modern era, like the big three, what's your philosophy on how roster construction has changed over the years?
Yeah, I think there's been the big three. There's probably been some people say a big four. Um, but when you look at championship teams, they tend to have more than one star, and you see our past champion and the Boston Celtics. You would say they have more than one star. And there's different ways to go about it, different builds. Oklahoma City has built it not just once but multiple times. And they could say they had the big four or big three, and now they're back in that same seat. But I think when you look at the build of our big three, it just has come at different times in their career. Luka being drafted here, and then being able to go out in a trade and get both Klay and Kai. And so, sometimes it's done through the draft, and probably today it's done probably more through trades.
So off the court, because you just talked about having talent, you've been part of big teams, playing wise and coaching wise. What is the common denominator of a successful team outside of just talent?
I think when you talk about teams that have been successful, it's the first thing is sacrifice or being unselfish. Those are the two things that you'll hear past champions or the future champions talk about, is being able to sacrifice or being unselfish, and being about the team. And then they'll sprinkle in paying attention to details, small and big. And so that's what what it takes to win, is that you have to be unselfish, or you have to sacrifice, because everyone believes that they can score 25 plus and have the ball 99% of the time, and that they're going to win. And so sometimes you have to give up a little of that to give a little bit more on the defensive end. And so I think that's what it comes down to if you really want to win a championship.
And has that been the conversations that you had with this team, since this looks to be the deepest team you've had?
Yeah,
Coach in Dallas.
yeah. We talk about it every day. If this is what we want to all agree that we want to win a championship, these are the things that we talk about in film, and then on the floor as coaches. And then I think when they're away from us in that locker room, I would say that that's what they're talking about when they're together. And so that's what we're trying to do, is try to win a championship. You have to talk about it. You can't be afraid of it. And there comes success, but also you could fail and fall, and you got to get right back up and get back to work.
Coach, we talked to Spencer earlier, and I want to get your thoughts. Just what do you see him bringing, everything he can bring to his team this year?
Yeah, I think just his his leadership, his being able to role acceptance, being here before, and now it could change with health. It would have changed, but now with some injuries, his role could change and be a start. He can be a guy that comes off the bench to being a starter, just because of health. And so, but being a pro and being ready, and those are the things that he can bring to the table.
PJ was playing 3-on-3. How has he progressed with his
Yeah, he's been great. He's getting, he got some work in today. He'll get some work in tomorrow, and then we'll see how he feels. Then we got Sunday, so he'll get some work there too, and then we'll see how he feels for Monday.
Coach, I had the opportunity to talk to Jason Terry yesterday, and he said you're doing a great job coaching. I want to get your thoughts. What do you think he can bring to the table as a coach, potentially as a head coach someday?
Yeah, I think Jet, when you talk about Jason Terry's his history, he's been a star in college. He's been a star in the league. It was funny, they had an old game of Atlanta against Minnesota today. He was playing point guard, and so He can talk about playing the point guard to going to playing off the ball to being the sixth man to playing later in his career. His work ethic, coming back at night, working on his game. And so he has a lot to give to these young men. And he's doing a great job in Utah. Utah believes in his coaching. It seems like every year he's getting upgraded from from the fifth seat to the fourth seat to the third seat. So Will Hardy believes in his skill set, and he will be a guy that's going to be recognized to be a head coach in this league. Also, he's easy to talk to, and I think he loves to talk, and so that's a big part of being a coach.
What are some focuses you've had in practice ahead of Monday's game against the Clippers?
Well, today was a light day, just after the game, so we did a lot of cleanup from yesterday, film work, and then there wasn't a lot of contact. We got a lot of bodies that are out right now, so but just review some of our defensive principles and then offensive principles, and then we'll get back at the contact tomorrow.
I know you mentioned the rebounding disparity yesterday. It ended up being, I think, 49-45 in the end, but obviously it's a big gap early on. I guess, what are you emphasizing from that standpoint to your bigs about just crashing the boards?
Yeah, we have to be better physically. I thought Kessler and Mark and those guys pushed us around, or we didn't put a body on them, and they're big. And so if you don't put a body on them, they're going to have that advantage. And so we talked about how we can be better at that. And we get another opportunity against another big center on Monday. But again, as a group, team rebounding has to be better.
Coach, how has this preseason been for you and the staff where, each game, there's only a few games for preseason and you haven't had your full roster to really implement your strategies? How's that been for you?
Yeah, I think for us it's almost normal. This was last year's training camp. We had some injuries, and so just deal with it. You got to teach and coach the guys that you have, and we have to be prepared, as we have always taken that approach that if guys are hurt, we got to go with the guys who can play. That happens during the season, and so you want to make sure that those guys are ready, but also for those guys who are working their way back into playing, we want to spend time with them too to make sure that we catch up, with what's happening defensively and offensively. And the nice thing is PJ and Luka and Maxey have been in the system. So they understand what we're trying to do, so it shouldn't take them that long. But hopefully we can get Kessler back, to get him on the floor to see what he can do for us as a two-way. But the guys that are out have been in the system. So it's about, treating those guys who are in, giving them all the attention and reps to make sure that they're ready to go as we get healthy.